Hey guys, so there's a popular myth that there's only one type of charisma that people can exhibit. The truth is there's multiple types of charisma that can be used in different situations, and here I'm going to break down 4 distinct types. Taken from the book The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox Cabane, the 4 types are focus charisma, visionary charisma, kindness charisma, and authority charisma. In this video, I'm going to educate you on the basics of each of these styles and how you can use each style to maximize your charisma in different situations. When you finish the video, you're going to have more profound knowledge about the different styles that you can use to improve your life. Whether you want to be a better leader or simply just want to be more liked by your friends and family, you'll find this video useful in order to be the most magnetic person that you can be. First, let's quickly summarize what charisma is. Charisma, as Cabane states, is made up of 3 components in this simple equation. Charisma equals presence, plus power, plus warmth. You're going to need to know this equation as each of the 4 styles of charisma is built from this foundation. If you want a more in-depth explanation, watch my previous video about how to easily be insanely charismatic. I'll post a link in the description. Alright, let's break down the first type of charisma, which is focus charisma. People with focus charisma have a feeling of intensity when you're around them. When they walk in the room, you can just clearly notice them, but the real power comes when you talk to them. Because when you talk to them, you can feel that they're really focused in on the conversation. You can see in their eye contact, their subtle body language. Somehow they make you feel heard, and more importantly, understood. And this is powerful. If you have this power, you can make anyone feel like the most important person in the room. And if you can do that, then the people will easily like you and be drawn to you. So how do you get this type of charisma? The core element that makes up the focus charisma is presence. This is where, in the charisma equation, presence matters the most. There's nothing in the world that makes someone feel more heard and understood than presence. The human brain is capable of reading subtle body language in 17 milliseconds, so they can tell if someone is paying attention or not. If you can master the skill of presence, then people will instantly like you and ultimately be on your side. Famous examples of people with exceptional focus charisma include Bill Clinton, Jimmy Fallon, Joe Rogan, and Oprah Winfrey. So if you want to be like these amazing people who are masters at focus charisma, you have to be present. This means having good listening skills is a must. Learn to talk less and listen more. Ask follow-up questions to reaffirm your understanding. Really immerse yourself in the conversation. You're also going to need some patience. You want to show them that they have your full attention for as long as they want. Out of the 4 styles, focus charisma is actually the easiest charisma to have, and it's very effective. But you want to be mindful that though presence is the core factor of this type of charisma, you're still going to need power and warmth. Without power, you're just going to come off as a huge people pleaser and thus be seen as low status. Without warmth, you're going to come off as too intimidating. You got to know how to balance the two, but keep your main focus on being present. You want to use focus charisma in situations that require more one-on-one interactions. So this can apply to different business situations such as negotiations, consultations, or building better client relationships. But it's not only limited to business. It can be applied to lawyers, politicians, police officers, social workers, or any job that involves more interpersonal interactions. You should not use this charisma during emergencies when you need immediate action. The second type of charisma is visionary charisma. Like it's stated, these people are true visionaries. They really know how to ignite a fire inside of people, tugging at their emotional cords in order to inspire and motivate. It's why we feel limitless when we listen to Tony Robbins, or why we watch with awe when Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone for the first time. Somehow they just know how to make us feel like anything is possible. And this is what makes them so magnetic to us. This is a powerful type of charisma. Why? Well, it has something to do with human nature. Humans in general don't like the feeling of uncertainty. It's uncomfortable. And when there's a huge crisis that invokes a huge feeling of uncertainty, such as a recession, then it's unbearable. But this is where visionary charisma really shines. See, this type of charisma helps remedy that uncomfortable feeling because it gives people some type of stable pillar to latch onto in the middle of chaos. Having a vision gives people some sort of certain direction, but also relies on how the vision is delivered too. When someone can speak with such conviction and confidence in their own words, then it's infectious. That's why people rally behind presidential candidates. Famous examples would be Steve Jobs, Tony Robbins, Martin Luther King Jr., and Barack Obama. What's unique about this type of charisma is that visionary charisma is more based on what is being said and not really about who is saying it. So let's go back to one of our examples, Steve Jobs. Most people who knew Steve Jobs didn't really like him as a person. He was disagreeable, he was harsh, and working with him was always a pain. But people were sold on his vision for a better future through technology. You can be dressed in rags and have no money to your name, but if you really know how to craft and communicate your vision effectively, then you can even get the wealthiest billionaire to follow you. So, what makes up the foundation of visionary charisma? It's power. It's the conviction in your own words that built the foundation of this type of charisma. Warmth also adds to this, because if your vision betters humanity in some way, then it makes you even more charismatic. One way to access visionary charisma is to first find something that matters to you. It should light a fire inside of you. Not only should it matter to you, but it should be something that you believe should matter to other people too. Does it benefit other people or society as a whole? You want to utilize body language and behavior. So display powerful dominant body language by taking up more space and using more dominant gestures. But the most important thing to visionary charisma is to get yourself into a state of mind of absolute conviction, shedding any type of doubt in what you believe in. Because if you can do that, then your body language will follow. You also gotta know how to communicate effectively. You need to know how to articulate your words and speak with enough conviction that it's contagious. This type of charisma is useful if you want to create change, like a movement, or if you want to inspire others. It's also useful during times when morale is low. The third type of charisma is kindness charisma. People with kindness charisma radiate a warm vibe that makes people feel loved unconditionally. They just know how to make you feel very welcomed and accepted. This is important because people have a universal basic desire to be accepted, and this type of charisma helps do just that. Examples of famous people with kindness charisma are Keanu Reeves, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Fred Rogers. Based on the charisma equation, warmth makes up the core foundation of kindness charisma, unsurprisingly. Out of all the styles, this type of charisma helps the most with getting people to like you. You want to use kindness charisma when you want to create closer emotional bonds with people, or make people feel safe and comfortable around you. It can be used in situations where you may have to deliver bad news or deal with people who are scared. You access kindness charisma by using your body language, so avoid tensing up or crossing your arms. You don't want to come off as cold or tense. Instead, keep your body opened and loosened up. More importantly, keep your eyes relaxed and smile. Show genuine compassion and goodwill. Like visionary charisma, what really helps is to change your mind state. So here's a quick psychological technique that you can use. Do me a favor and visualize everyone having angel wings around you. I'm serious, do it. Then imagine that all of you are a team of angels on the same mission, to better the world. If you do this will create a warm psychological effect where you'll be more empathetic towards people around you, and they'll feel it. It's the greatest way to access kindness charisma. Just give it a shot. Alright, the fourth and last type of charisma is authority charisma. People with this type of charisma have a sense of high status to them. This is the most powerful type of charisma. People are just magnetically drawn to respect them. If you had this charisma, people will instantly listen and ultimately obey you. This is because humans are hardwired to react to authority. Famous examples would be Michael Jordan, Jeff Bezos, Conor McGregor, and Robert Downey Jr. In the charisma equation, power makes up the bulk of authority charisma, as this type of charisma is based on people's perception of power, or the belief of someone's ability to affect the world. It really comes down to how effectively you can convey that power. Because authority charisma is the most powerful and effective type of charisma, it's also going to have the most requirements. Authority charisma mainly consists of three things: body language, appearance, and title. Let's break down the first one, body language. Body language is the most important aspect of authority charisma, because without it, the other two do not matter. Fortunately, it's also the easiest to control. Conveying confident body language creates a perception of power that affects others and causes others to notice and react to you. So assume dominant body language. Learn to take up space with your posture. Avoid excessive movements. This means don't fidget. Learn to move only when necessary and with a purpose. Also, a quick tip is to avoid excessively reassuring or agreeing with what people say, because it just portrays you as low confidence and, well, low status. The second thing is appearance. Appearances are usually the first thing noticed and used to make judgments about an individual. How well dressed are you? What kind of clothing are you wearing? What kind of brands? Any certain type of clothing that you wear for your job? People in uniform or lab coats are seen as more powerful. So is high-end clothing because it's a sign of financial wealth. Are you well groomed? Keep that patchy beard cleanly trimmed or shave it off. Get a haircut that suits you very well. You want to keep your appearance sharp in order to display authority charisma. It's worth putting in effort. The last thing is title. This one is the hardest to control. Luckily, you don't absolutely need it to access authority charisma. With that being said, most would agree that certain jobs definitely do garner more respect than others. So if you want to, try climbing up the ranks in your company or find another job. But I advise to do this only if you want to and are not happy in your current job. If you're happy where you are, don't worry about it. Being happy matters most. A tip I would recommend is to take up leadership positions in a local club or even your friend group. Overall, like I said before, out of the 3 factors, displaying proper body language matters the most. Though brand clothing or prestigious titles do help, if you don't have the body language to back it up, you won't be able to access authority charisma. Let's go back to the charisma equation. Though power makes up the bulk of this type of charisma, it's not entirely everything. You still need a certain amount of warmth. Without warmth, people will just see you as arrogant, intimidating, and cold. They'll respect you, but they'll probably not like you. If you can display warmth, then you will be seen as high status, benevolent, and thus magnetic. You'll have people on your side because they believe that you are able to move mountains for them, and this makes you incredibly charismatic. Authority charisma can be applied in business, military, law enforcement, or any type of environment that requires strong leadership. You should use it when you need immediate compliance from people. One tip I recommend is to avoid using it in social situations such as a wedding or a funeral. You also want to avoid using it when delivering bad news or giving constructive feedback. Usually people have a natural talent for one type of charisma. Maybe you have exceptional listening skills, so you're more inclined to the focus type of charisma. Maybe you have big dreams and great speaking skills, so you're a visionary type of charisma. Maybe you have an infectious smile and a kind heart, so you're more of the kindness type of charisma. Maybe you're a natural leader and very self-confident, so you have authority charisma. Try to figure out what type of style of charisma that you're good at and use it to your advantage. You want to improve your other styles of charisma because it can be used in various situations. Maybe your natural style of charisma may not be suited for a particular situation. For example, let's say your natural charisma is authority charisma. That's not what you need when trying to comfort a friend or celebrate someone's success. Instead, learn to use kindness or focus charisma. You should work on improving all 4 types. You want to be versatile. When you're in a situation where you need to utilize charisma, you need to understand the situation. First, ask yourself, what is needed right now? What am I trying to accomplish right now? What result do I want? You're trying to build stronger relationships? Do you want to rally and motivate people? Or do you want to help people emotionally, or you need immediate action? Understanding the context is going to help you to know what type of charisma to use in any given situation. Okay, let's summarize. 1. There are 4 types of charisma. Focus charisma, visionary charisma, kindness charisma, and authority charisma. 2. Focus charisma. This type of charisma makes people feel like they're the most important person in the room. It focuses on making people feel heard and understood. Presence is the foundation of this type of charisma. 3. Visionary charisma. This type of charisma makes people feel inspired and motivated. It's more on what is said and less about the person saying it. Power is the primary component of this type of charisma. 4. Kindness charisma. This type of charisma makes people feel loved and accepted. It helps build better emotional bonds with others. Warmth is the biggest factor in this type of charisma. 5. Authority charisma. This type of charisma makes people respect you and obey you. This is the most powerful type. It's based on body language, appearance, and title. Power is the most important element in this type of charisma. If you found this content useful, I highly recommend you check the book, The Charisma Myth, by Olivia Fox Cabane. I'll include a link of her book in the description. This book is one of the best books out there about charisma, and I highly suggest you check it out. Well, that's all for the video. If you liked or learned anything from this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to never miss another upload. leave a comment about what style of charisma you naturally fit into. Thanks guys, I'll see ya.